this. Okay. Hello everyone. This is part 2 of beginner series Bowspring. And so today lovely Sandrine is gonna help me demo. So today we'll be talking about the subsystem of the wings. It's called the wings, and what includes in the this subsystem is the hands, the arms, and the shoulders. So right now we're gonna focus on the hands. Okay, so Sandrine, just relax your arms and your hands and just wiggle your fingers. So what we want is to create the softness in the fingers. And especially the last joints of the fingers, the last joint of each finger is softly bending in the bowspring. So we don't want to either do this with the hands or claw too much because it creates a lot of tension, unnecessary tension. So we want to bring the softness in the fingertips. And sometimes, you know, if you take your left hand over your right and you can massage and soften the top of the hand like so. From the center you go to you can kind of we call it taco effect, where you bring the edges of the palm towards each other, and then you massage from the wrist with the thumb, the base of the thumb. You massage the tissue from the wrist to the fingers, and then you even pull gently your fingers away from the palm. And if you have someone to do it, like a friend, it's even better because we can massage. You see how I'm using the base of my thumbs, and I'm moving the tissue from the center of the top palm out into the periphery, into the fingers, and the base of my other fingers actually integrating the base of the palm in. So I'm pulling the base of the base palm into the center. Okay, and then each finger, it should feel good. Sometimes people start drooling. That's how good it is. Okay, and then the other. So you want to make sure that the top, usually when we spread our fingers too much, go ahead and spread the fingers. See how Sandrine's the top of the palm is right now is too tight, right? And we don't want that. In the Bowspring methodology, we want to create the softness on the top of the palm, the softness in the fingers, whereas we integrated the palm in the base. Okay, so right now the fingers should be a little bit loose. Okay, and now we're gonna work on how to create the seed hand. This is one of the fundamental form of the hands in the Bowspring methodology. So yeah, if you notice how fingers are in the relaxed form, they are actually, so lower your arm. See how the hand is in natural position, the fingers actually curling in slightly. Okay, so we're gonna maintain that. So as you take your right arm like so, and the palm is facing up, so the fingers are already bending softly. So we maintain that, and then they bring the tips of your forefingers in towards the base of the big, towards the base of the thumb. Now the fingertips don't touch the base. They don't touch the base. They float in. There's space, and the thumb goes to the first joint of your index finger. Okay, and it's not pressing too much, but it's not floating loosely. So it's just enough. And and they notice how the fingers are they staggered, right? So it's a cone shape, right? It's a cone shape spiral. Okay, so as the fingers softly bending, the center of the palm is actually, so let's show on this side. The base of the palm, so relax your fingers, the base of the palms is integrating, meaning that there's a dome, there's a hollow in the center of the palm. So A, B, C of the hand. A, the fingers soft, fingertips soft. The last joint is softly bending. B is the center of the palm, is hollowing and actually broadening and integrating, pulling to the top of the palm. So that creates the dome shape on the top of the hand, okay? So each hollow corresponds to each mount, okay, to its mount. That's B. C is the integration and squeezing action of the base of the palm. There you go, you can see it here. So the base of the thumb and the base of the pinky draw towards one another. It narrows the base of the palm, okay? And that action brings the uniform tone to the arm, all the way to the shoulder, okay? So let's do the seed. So bring your fingers like so. Stagger them. The base, so the thumb, the tip of your thumb on the first knuckle of the index finger, and you can actually stretch out through the index, like push out through the index, like you're stretching through the thumbnail, like so. Center of the palm is broadening, hollowing a lot, so the top of the seed is nice and doming. And then the base of the palm is integrated, toning, bringing the whole uniform tone to the forearm, and I'm checking to see. So go ahead, and all the way to the upper arm, and I'm checking to see on all sides. So what we're looking is not just the bicep or the tricep, we're also looking on all sides, okay? And all the way to the outer shoulder. Good, let's do other side. So seed, hand. So, and I'd like to start always, I like to start with my pinky, ring, index, middle, and then index finger, and then the thumb is resting on my index finger. There you go. And then the center of the palm is hollowing. The base of the palm is integrating, sucking in towards one another, but also into the inner wrist. And this is what we, in the wrist, there are hollows also. The inner wrist is hollowed. You can see the pulling of the fascia in, and this is healthy for the wrist. And as Sandrine is maintaining that, she's gonna hollow the outer wrist, and we call it ice pick action of the hand. It's like a hammering, or like you picking ice, right? And that is creating the integration of the outer wrist, which is also healthy, okay? Now, this in turn creates a lot of nice balanced tone to the forearm, and I can see that her inner elbow is also the fascia pulled in, which is hollowed the inner elbow. This is good too. And then we go all the way to the upper arm. There is integration, and the armpit is, if you turn this way, you can see the armpit is hollowed and sucked it in, and there's a mount, corresponding mount of the shoulder. This creates stability to the shoulder girdle, okay? This creates the stability, brings stability to the elbow. All right, so this is from the seed action. Okay, now we're gonna, so let's do the on the other side. So seed, the base of the palm is integrated, and pull the base of the palm towards the inner wrist, and then and then ice pick action, like you're hammering. Good. And you can see the indentation of her inner elbow. This is healthy. This is really good. And all the way to the armpit. This is excellent. Okay. So, and now Sandrine is gonna flop the arms. We're going flopping. Where the, yes. So she continues to maintain the seed action of the hands, of the fingers are soft, the base of the palms are integrated, and the center of the palms are hollowing, and she keeps it as she continuously increases the tone of the arms all the way to the shoulders. And we're going to talk later about the arms and the shoulders. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Sandrine. Okay, now bring the hands into what we call is globe hands. Okay, the globe hands is this formation, and guess what? ABC of the hands stay the same in any position of the hands. This is called globe. Now notice that the thumbs are straight, and if they sometimes, like my pinky are kind of short, they don't have to touch. They can float, just like floating ribs. The fingers are softly bending, right? The center of the palms are hollowing and they're pulling away from one another. The base of the palms are still working. So it feeds to all the way to the arms and all the way to the rib cage actually. And then Sandrine, pull your glove hands towards you as you push your underarms forward. There you go. And lift through the ribs more. And remember, in the first part, we talked about the establishing the central channel long, and then as we sustain the curves, and then expansion of the ribs on all sides. Well, guess what? The ABC of the hands and the arms and the shoulders feed to the expansion of the ribs. Okay, so and the expansion of the ribs really correspond to the integration of the all the way to the fingertips. Okay, so this is important. It's like conversation, right? They have to talk to each other. They have to work together as a system approach. Okay, beautiful. And now, so we're gonna do from the globe hands, bring your hands into like so. We call it dome hands. So pretend this is the surface. Okay, so this is the surface, the floor. And later on, we're gonna show you in a position in all fours. So you can relax this arm. So the hand, the dome hands, like you're holding a cupcake. The fingers, notice that each finger is softly bending. There's no hyperextension. So show the hyperextension like this. Yeah. So see how the fingers are like hyperextending like this, or squeeze like too much of the fingers. We don't want that. There's no power when she does it. Okay, so the dome hands, the fingernails should be vertically pressing to the floor, to any surface. And guess what? Any surface, the wall, the floor, whatever it is, wherever your hands are, the same ABC stays. So she maintains the hollow in the center of the palm and the integration of the base of the palm. Okay, all right. Now spring hand, so from the dome to spring, so she brings her hand into spring like so. Notice she's not spreading her fingers too much because she's gonna lose that integration of the base of the palm, which is, she immediately will feel it in her arm. So the spring hands, they call it spring hands because it's a spring loaded, okay? Again, the center of the palm is lifting away from the floor, away from the surface, always. But the base of the palm is integrated, okay? And the fingers are staying softly bent on each joint, okay? So now float into dome, left hand, and into spring. So she maintains, as she moves into dome, into spring, she maintains the ABC of the hand, okay? Thank you. So now we're gonna go into, so face that wall, and we're gonna come to hero pose. So step wide, lean forward, bring your fingertips. So when she bends forward, her fingertips touch. This is dome hands. And notice that she's not pressing a lot of weight on her fingertips. The fingertips are, light, and she can do that, lifting up and down. The center of the palms are hollowing, lifting up and away from the surface, and the base of the palms is staying integrated. Then walking hands slightly forward, so, and then keep the domes, lower your palms down into spring hands. Good. And now step back to all fours. And come to hero pose. Use the block. Okay. This is hero pose. Sandrine is using a block. Thank you. A block, and block is tilted a little bit. So the sitting bones are back and wide. Her pelvis is nice and broad on all sides. And now her hands are in dome hands. So go ahead, Sandrine, and place your hands, spring hands on your thighs. They're just soft, and the fingers there for sensitivity. So she is staying soft, yin quality in her fingers, but the center and the base of the palms are integrating yang quality, okay, strong quality. And then remember, the first part is always the central channel long. So the crown of her head is pulling up, and the base of the pelvic floor is the pushing back and wide. This nice and curvy line. It's beautiful and pulling up and down. So the base of the central channel, the pelvic floor, roots down towards the earth, and the crown of the head pulls up and connects to the sky. Now there are ribs. So the ribs are expanding on all sides, like a helium-filled balloon from inside, from the center of the ribs. Her breath pushes out to the sides, to the back, and then all sides of the ribs lift up and away from the waistline, lift up and away from the hips. Beautiful. Now lean forward, Sandrine, and bring your dome, fingertips touch to dome. Pause. Yeah. Again, it's a small cup. It's not big, okay? So go ahead and show them how to like hyperextend, not to do. Yeah, and I see right, this a lot. This is hyperextension in the fingers. Do you feel any strength in your arms?
No.
No.
It pushes on the tips.
Yes, and it's just too much of the fingers. Now come to dome hands. You can see there's a lot more balanced action of the tone of the arms, whereas before they were working way too hard or none at all. Okay, from this dome hands, lower your palms, pull your palms back into spring hands. Good. And then come back to dome hands again. And do it 3 more times. Her ribs are staying full and expansive. The central channel staying long and elongated. And the palms are pulsing with the balance action of the softening in the fingers and the strong action of the base of the palms. Good. Spring hands. Come back to all fours. Move your knees back. Good. So the central channel staying long, the ribs are full on all sides. And now, Sandrine, sit back a little bit, 2 inches, and arc your head to the left and lift your right hand into dome. And release to spring. And switch sides. Left hand dome to spring. And as she goes side to side this way, her ribs never go down. Notice her head never goes down. Notice her hips never go down. And the central channel never shortens as her belly stays long and neck stays long. And when the ribs are full like so, the lifting from dome to spring and spring to dome is easier. The hollows in her armpits staying, and the inner elbows face each other. They never turn forward. Okay, good. Very good. Good. And now please come to all fours. And so we don't want, there's another misalignment in the bowstring we consider is flicking the fingertips. Go ahead and flick fingertips like so. You see this a lot, right? You see this like this a lot, people do. And what it does, you disconnect from the earth, right? So you want to keep the fingertips, yes, pressing down, just enough, not too much. Show the opposition like this, too much. So again, it stresses and makes the top of the palm too tight. So release your hands, your fingers, and make them soft. Base of the palm, the center of the palm. Okay. And another thing that what we don't want is to, when you lift through the palm like so, like so. This is also disempowering. Okay. There's no integration whatsoever. Too much pressure on the fingers. So maintain the palm, the spring loadedness of the hands. Okay. So now please come to crouching cat. Tuck your toes. Lift up and back. Crouching cat. Guess what? In crouching cat, the spring loadedness of the hands stay the same. So Sandrine is going to tip her head to the left and spring to dome of the right, and then lower to spring, and then switch sides. And she can go on and on and on with this lightness and springiness in her hands as she maintains the broadening, expansion of the ribs, side to side. When you lift, maintain the the narrowing action of the base of the thumb and the pinky towards one another. Good, very good. And now release your hands and pause. Exhale, sit back. Keep the tone of the hands. Inhale and pull yourself forward. Exhale, sit back. Now this spring-loadedness of the hands is the most, arguably, the most difficult position of the hands to integrate the base of the palm. But if you do it continuously, it's mindfully each day, you will notice the big difference, okay? Beautiful. Okay, now walk your hands back towards your feet, please. Hands on your knees. Recovery pose, we call it recovery pose. Step forward just a little bit, Sandrine. And hands in horseshoe hands, where the thumb is inside of your inner thighs and the other fingers are outside. Guess what? The fingers are soft and the base of the palms are integrated. And she's not heavy at all in her hands. She can float, and that is the power of the expansion of the ribs. Okay, and then please come up to earth position. Okay, please turn this way. Now, so that is elemental form of the seed, which is the ABC of the hands, stays throughout any formation, the globe, or even like, you know, chin-up bar hands, or we will talk about chin-up bar arms. But any position of the hands, spring stays the same. The spring hand is something that you need to work on. It's not easily felt at first, but keep working, and you will notice that there is harmonious action of the hugging muscles, tissue, myofascial tone of the muscles and tissue to the bones, where the bones feel safe to expand. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the arms and the shoulders. And Sandrine is already in earth position with her arms in zero position. So this is zero. But go ahead and relax your arms first. Just relax. Good. We carry a lot of tension in the arms and the hands and fingers and the shoulders, right? Because of the sitting position, what we do at the computer, stress, and all of that. So one way to release and let go of the extra tension, we call it shaking. So Sandrine is gonna start with the right arm, just right arm, and just shake it from the shoulder all the way out, just like that, like you're throwing something off. And then focus your attention on your forearm and just shake the forearm. And then hand, and you notice it goes faster, and then fingers even faster. This is fun. Okay, and now release and just feel the energy. You'll feel the energy all the way to, it's like a buzzing kind of, quality of the energy in the arm and fingers. That's good. And if I measure her blood pressure right there, it will be different than from the left arm. Okay, so second arm, again, just from all the way from the shoulder all the way to the fingers. And then focus on the forearm. And then hand. And then fingers. Good. And release. So this is one that if you feel a lot of tension in your shoulders and your arms and your fingers, just go ahead and shake it out. It feels good, okay? There's a greater blood flow. It's good for the arms and hands. Okay, now Sandrine is gonna create the seed hands we just worked on, right? The seed hands, the pinky, ring, middle, index finger, the thumbs to the first knuckle of the index. There's space between the fingertips. The center of the palm is doming. The base of the palm is integrated. There's action of the inner wrist, right? And the outer wrist, the ice pick. Push your arms forward slightly. So face the window. So notice that her elbows are in front of her ribs. So between is just slightly. Yes. Now bring your elbows back. So if her elbows are back, that's what usual what we do. Now we consider that in Bowspring this is when we are you know, in fear or, you know, it's too much of the tension, we pull the elbows back. What happens to the upper back, it gets tensed. So push your elbows back, yeah, like that, like so. And there's kind of squeezing action and narrowing action and diminishing quality to the upper back. We don't want that. So we want to expand the ribs. So push your arms forward, seize. Yeah, and you can see how her upper back, the thoracic spine is expanding. Now from the base of from the center of the thoracic spine, the energy pushes out through the shoulders, and this is the V action of the shoulders. They move up and wide from the center of the ribs. So she maintains this, and her elbows face each other, the palms face back. This is zero position of the arms in earth position. So step like so. You can see how she is, as she integrates the base of the palms, her arms are engaged, okay? So she push your arms out more from the center of the rib cage of the back, extend through the shoulder blades out more. Good. So maintain this. Push your arms out asymmetrically, and I like to do it at first to bring the more somatic awareness. As I bring my hands to their hands or forearms, the student will push out through the arms, and as you push out through the arms, and broaden laterally through your ribs. Yeah, so the using pushing out is the A of the ABC of the arms. It expands the ribcage to the sides laterally. Now, I'm gonna place my hands in front of her arms or the seats, and she's gonna push forward with the arms. And that corresponds to broadening of the back ribs, okay? So that's the B of the arms. So push out, push forward more, and push the heart back more. There you go. Keep the lateral extension of the ribs. Good. And back. Now the C is, as she, from the center of the ribs, she's gonna push out through the seat hands, push out into me. So my hands are resisting her seats, and she's gonna push out through the seats, push into me, push out more. Yeah, there you go. And it's beautiful to watch how the whole area of the rib cage is expanding like a shining star, like a sun. Beautiful. So ABC of the arms, wide to expand the ribs, forward to expand the back ribs, and push out through the seats. And that creates just beautiful. You can see, turn this way. I mean, this is gorgeous. So go wide, push out, there, push forward, and the back ribs stay full, and then push out through from the center of the rib cage, out through the seats. And you can see all of the hollows and the integration of the tone of the whole arm and the shoulder area. Now this is zero position of the arms. So lower your arms, but keep the action. Now turn with your back to the camera. Okay, so now we're gonna move into service arms. The service arms, from the zero position, Sandrine is gonna open her palms forward, and she's gonna bend her elbows. It's like she's holding trays. There. Okay. Now notice when she did it, do it again, lower your arms into zero. And then she maintains the fullness of the ribcage right here. So turn your face, your palms forward, and then bend your elbows. She never loses the fullness of here. So push your arms out more there. And again, she's staying expansive and broad on the back of the ribs and between her shoulder blades. The service arms, turn out face the cameras. The service arms broaden the collarbones, the front of the shoulders, right? Whereas the zero, maybe you will feel a little crunch in the front, but then the service arms, without losing the back, opens the front. Yeah, push your elbows out more. Like you're holding trays, bend your elbows a little bit more. Good. And now extend through the bones and flop. This brings even more tone to the arms, and that in turn ask the ribs to stay expansive, because you can't flop with the ribs small. It's just, you won't be able to feel it. So as the ribs resist out on all sides, and keep this as you flop the wings. This is actually really good for the arms and the shoulders if you have some weakness going on in the shoulders. Okay, beautiful. Okay, now from the service arms, go into chin-up bar. So it's like chin-up bar, like you're hooking yourself. So she's gonna push the under elbows forward and up, and she's gonna pull herself on the imaginary chin-up bar. Yes. But guess what? The hands stay integrated, ABC in the hands, ABC of the arms, and her arms, I'm checking to see, this is all, and what I'm looking at, hollows on the inner elbows, inner wrist, outer wrist, and the armpits, and at the same time, I'm checking to see her tone. So, press through the elbows, squeeze the elbows towards one another, open your throat, and pull yourself up. Yeah, good. Okay, now bring your arms into horizon, palms facing down, but the creases of her elbows facing towards one another. This is horizon arms, where the arms are horizontal to the floor. Okay, now again, chin-up bar, and then hands to the service ecstasy arms. So the hands are, the thumbs right above the ears, like carpenter's pencils. The fingers are soft. You cup in the hands are reflecting the shape of the skull. Okay. Turn this sideways, soften your fingers, and then integrate the base of the palm so the hands are staying engaged. The elbows narrow, push your elbows forward and narrow them as the rib cage from the back, from the center of the rib cage, expand out, the shoulder blades wide. Good. And find the pulsation. Exhale, sit back on earth. Inhale, and lengthen through the central channel. Expand your ribs. Yeah, exhale, sit back. Inhale, and stretch your belly forward. Keep the tone of the arms, the base of the palms. This is something we need to learn. As you move through the pose to pose, or as you pause in pose, in Bowspring we pause a lot. The base of the palms are always staying integrated, because the second you lose it, you will feel the disengagement in the arms, and that will feed to the collapse in the ribs. Good. One more breath. Good. Okay, now take your right hand behind your head, and the left arm horizon arm. So the right hand is called headrest. Okay, where also the hands are reflect the skull, the shape of the skull. The fingers soft, the base of the palm seen integrated. The elbow narrow. What happens that what I see is this: the elbow wide, and what happens to the upper back, it collapses. So we want to keep the thoracic spine nice and open and full and expansive. And she pushes her head up and back into her hand. With her hand, she raises forward. Now, the seed in her left hand is staying integrated, and she pulses. Exhale, sit back, bend your knees. Inhale, press through the knuckles of your left hand. Lift through the head, push your head back against your right hand. Exhale, sit back. Inhale and up. One more time. Exhale, sit back, keep your hips back. Inhale. Good. And switch the hands. Left hand behind the head. Right arm's horizon arm, seed is facing down, but the inner elbow facing in towards the midline. She creates this nice balanced tone of push and pull with her hand and her head. Exhale, sit back. Inhale, lengthen through the central channel. Keep the pelvic floor open and connected to the floor, to the earth as you reach out through the crown. Push your head back. Exhale, sit back. The tone of the hands, the softness of the fingers, you have to be mindful and consistent in your practice. That is yoga, because you can't just do anything else. You have to be so present. You have to be so mindful of what's going on with your hands, what's going on with your fingers, with your arms, with your ribs, with your head. One more time, inhale. Beautiful. And then release your left arm forward. Step wide, step wide. So look your heels in. Lean forward, place your fingertips touch, dome, and then slide them into spring hands. Come to all fours. In all fours, the hands are staying, the ABC of the hands are the same. So the fingers soft, the center of the palms are lifting up and away from the floor, they never touch the floor, and the base of the palms are integrated. Okay, the elbows, the inner elbows have to face each other. Turn your elbows forward. Yeah, this can be, if you hyperextend a lot and easily, this can really make your hyperextension even worse. So bring your elbows facing towards one another, and this feeds to the elbow, so the indentation of your inner elbow, you will never collapse, you will never hyperextend, and there is integration. You can see the tricep and biceps working. Beautiful. And she finds pulsation. Exhale, sit back, inhale, and broaden your shoulder blades in V. Yeah, from the center of the ribs, extend out. And when she pauses, I want you to notice that when Sandrine sits back, pause right there, her underarms push forward all the time. They never go back with her like this. See, this is collapse. So inhale forward. So she's gonna resist her underarms and armpits forward when she sits back. Beautiful. That's it, Sandrine. Two more. Good. And now please lift up to crouching cat. Same thing, when Sandrine pauses, her underarms stay forward all the time. Armpits push forward and wide. The shoulder blades in V vector. The rib cage is resisting. Yeah. And her inner elbows staying facing each other. Good. Two more. And then crouching, from crouching cat, twisted cat, right. So twist your toes and your knees to the right. Her head tips to the left. Notice her right hand floated into dome. Yes, and bring your fingertips, that's it. And she's light, she can play piano, right? There you go. So pause, exhale, sit back, broaden your sitting bones, inhale and arc through the right ribs. Good. One more time, exhale, sit back, inhale. Her underarm staying forward, armpits stay forward. Now, right hand, headrest behind her head, that's it. Elbow narrow. Exhale, sit back. Inhale and arc more. Broaden your shoulder blades and stretch to the belly. One more time. Exhale, sit back. And release your right hand down. Dome to spring. Then come back to crouching cat. So there is a way to come out of the pose. We don't hurry because we check it to see from dome to spring. Can we maintain the integration of the hand? Okay, so please twist cat left just to even out. Pause, exhale, sit back. And the left hand also flows into dome because of the expansion of the ribs. If she's too heavy in her ribs and her ribs are collapsing, she will never lift in her left hand to dome. One more time. Beautiful. And then let's do a left hand to headrest. Push your head back more. Inhale. And now release your left hand to dome. And she's going to check to see, can she maintain the spring loadedness in her hand? Then she flows into spring hand, where she still maintains that, the ABC of the hand. Sit back, exhale, inhale forward. And lower your knees down to the floor. Maintain the ribs up, hips up, head up. Good. I speak right hand. So where the seed and the pinky touches the side of the seed hand, touches the floor, and she's gonna push it down and drag it back asymmetrically. And when she lowers her elbow, her ribs stay up. So do it again. I speak. Pull your seed back, so the outer ribs staying integrated and hollow, and the elbow as she lowers, the ribs staying up. So she's light. Lower your elbow and do the other side. I speak. So pinky side, elbow, the ribs staying up. Good, good. This is an tuck your toes, lift your knees, step your feet wider, walk your feet slightly forward. This is called crouching sphinx. She can pause here, even here, and her outer wrists are staying off the floor. That I speak action of the hand and the arm staying integrated all the time. And if she collapses in her wrist, that means that her ribs are kind of collapsed, right? So there's no power whatsoever to hold herself. One more time. And now come to right hand from I speak to dome to spring. Left hand dome to spring. Walking hands back towards your feet. Please come up to standing earth and face the camera. Okay, so that was the subsystem of the wings. The hands, the arms, and the shoulders. So what we are looking for is, we talked about the establishing the central channel long and curving, beautifully connected on all sides, right? Expanding to all sides. But and also we talked about the rib cage expanding on all sides and lifting up and away from the pelvic floor, from the hips. But now we're talking about engaging, okay? And that engagement from the periphery, from the hands, all the way to the core, to the center of the rib cage. And that is beautiful relationship where the engagement of the hands and the arms and the shoulders support the expansion of the ribs. Okay, so the ribs feel safe to expand more, even more, and that adds to the more power to the wings and the hands. Okay, next time we're going to talk about the roots, the subsystem of the roots, feet and legs and hips. All right, stay tuned. And Sandrine, do you want to add anything to this?
Enjoy the practice.
Thank you so much.